On this episode of Negative Modifier, we'll be playing the game deltagreen. Deltagreen is a mature tabletop RPG that tackles various dark and unsettling themes and topics that some listeners may find traumatizing, harmful, or generally uncomfortable. Listener discretion is advised. We'll say it's, I don't know, like probably, I don't want to say quite midday, but it feels kind of midday-ish by now at least. Like maybe getting kind of into the early afternoon by now, given all the things that have kind of transpired, the amount of travel and whatnot has happened. So you're on the beach, you're recovering some, you managed to get the lockbox open, you have this unexplored, mostly remains lighthouse, you have the means to, in theory, disarm any booby traps that may or may not be inside of it, etc., etc. Something's really strange about the lake. The town probably at least is a little bit aware something weird happened. The town sheriff is there. Someone ditched you on the island. Let's actually start this off with kind of a pretty simple question. What are people thinking at this point?
Spark is concerned because Spark saw like the overview of everything that happened in the little like crater lake thing that happened with Sanguine.
Oh yeah.
And she's concerned that he was released so easily. She had kind of written him off as dead when she saw that happen. But now he's back, and there's still a lighthouse to explore.
Plenty of reasons, not even including Sanguine's situation, whatever it might be, to kind of be concerned about. Yeah, like, if there was any doubt that something is definitely going on here between the journal and the thing in the lake and the explosions and the booby traps and all the missing people and whatnot, plenty of reasons to be concerned at this point at a minimum, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not super concerned about the thing in the pit because I rolled a critical on my sanity check for that. But I am concerned about Sanguine.
Saga, well, what's going through your head at this point?
Well, the initial anger I had with Sanguine has gone away. Well, kind of, because obviously, you know, we were involved in the explosion at the lighthouse, and then they, you know, I warned them not to walk off, and sure enough, they did, and the animals died. And so now we're in this like, okay, they're okay, but the situation is obviously just completely crazy now. And so I think I'm just trying to plan out my next move.
The lighthouse is the obvious next destination, I guess. Yeah. Like you now have a path forward with the lighthouse in theory, at least. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to continue kind of our progress there. But now at the same time, if Spark heard the explosion and knew stuff was going on, it leads me to believe that they're now aware, or whoever is, you know, behind all this stuff that's going on is a lot more aware that there are people kind of potentially going down a weird path that might cause issues. So I'm expecting that things are going to be a lot more hostile from now on.
Oh yeah, no. The assumption that like anyone that cares is aware something at least is like a little bit weird going on. Very safe assumption. Yeah.
Yeah. But now even more so, like at least we had the opportunity of being a little bit more stealth, but it's like, okay, now there's a lot more red flags because like, again, I'm sure they didn't know about the booby traps, but you know, we survived booby traps. Who knows? It's just there's going to be a lot of extra precaution around us now. It's just the feeling I have.
That makes a lot of sense. And last but not least, Agent Sanguine. What are you thinking about right now?
Well, I truly am relieved that I was able to cheat death and make it out alive. We've got a mission incomplete. And I am not wasting the second opportunity that I have to make things happen. I've got a little bit of a pep in my step.
Yeah. All this makes sense. So Sheriff Musaf is kind of looking at you at all this, kind of like, okay, what the hell's going on? But also like, maybe I don't want to know what's going on. He kind of approaches Spark and goes, so are we gonna head out now? Anything else you need to do while you're here? Should I stay here with the boat? Should I come with you? This feels like kind of the weird you were alluding to, right?
Yeah. We could use an extra set of hands if you want to help us, but that's ultimately up to you.
If it's all the same to you, unless you really need me, I'd rather stay here by the boat just in case. I don't know. Shecky did kind of apparently ditch your friends and whatnot, and that seems a little weird.
Sure. Why don't you go ahead and just give me a call if, you see somebody approaching the island.
Yeah, he pulls like an air horn. He's like, with this or like a walkie-talkie or something.
Sure. Either way.
Fair enough. I can work with that. Enjoy our scenic, partially exploded lighthouse, I guess.
Let me go grab that duffel bag off the boat.
I have nods at this. All right, yeah. Yeah, guess I'll be here. And he kind of like very uncomfortably like tries to casually lean against the boat or something like that, trying to make it seem like he's not just completely freaked out in the moment.
Great. I'll take a shotgun out of the bag and then sling the bag over my the back.
Are you stealthy at all about this or not really?
I know that he knows I took a bunch of stuff, so I'll be courteous enough to give him plausible deniability to do it after I'm out of his sight.
Yes, he sees you reach into the bag and is like, oh, what's over there? That's super interesting all of a sudden. Yeah, like he is playing along with you or trying to give him some plausible deniability, which he appreciates. But yeah, so what's the plan now?
Let's go deal with the lighthouse. Which of you has the most steady hands?
Well, that would be me, seeing as how I'm a surgeon.
You should probably do the disarming then.
Is someone going to talk me through it? Because injecting fat into different parts of the body is a little different than, cutting a specific wire and making sure I don't come out without hands.
Well, the previous woman here seemed to be just fine at it, and I don't think there's anything that indicates that she's an explosives expert, so I think you'll be fine.
I don't think you need to be an explosive expert to create bombs. I would like some expert knowledge to be able to disarm them. Is there anything in the book regarding that?
No, just simply where we can go to try to disarm them.
All right.
If it makes you feel better, I'm pretty sure if they go off, we'll be on the outside of the lighthouse.
Is there any kind of indication as to what we're going to be looking for in this lighthouse?
I mean, the instructions you got is like where to push the stick thing in, and that in theory disarms the booby traps. Like the instructions you got are pretty clear about that.
I mean, we only know that it's a point of interest at this point, so let's go disarm these things.
Yeah.
All right, so Agent Sanguine, are you going to do the disarming?
It sounds like it. Am I leading the way? Is anyone going to point out where these things are?
I mean, there's a whole, like, there's a diagram that tells you to do all this stuff in the note and stuff like that. Like, give me a dexterity check to kind of see how well you do this, I guess is what I'm looking for.
All right. Can I do surgery instead?
Yes. This is more for flavor than for failure, for what it's worth.
Okay. 56 out of 73% success with surgery.
Yeah, so you kind of follow the instructions and you feel, you kind of hit this, like, calling it a mass is the wrong phrase, but it feels like tension, almost like a set of bungee cables or something. And as you push gently against it, you suddenly feel it go from tight to a lot of slack, and then it kind of like seems to fall away from what you were pushing on it with. And yeah, feels disarmed, I guess might be the way of thinking about it. There's no kaboom, there's no suddenly loud set of ticking noises, there's no kind of indications that anything else is wrong.
Well, let's get in there.
Before we like fully step into it, can I taste the initial scene of the lighthouse?
Like the inside of the door, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to open the door?
We disarmed the door, is what my understanding is. Yeah,
the door is still closed, though. Like, it's a big, kind of heavy, old-school lighthouse door. Like, it's meant to withstand weather and, like, siege is the wrong phrase, but, like, it's an old-school, heavy door. It's meant to last a long time and not need maintenance. Like, it'll probably require a strength check or something to move it in its current state.
Okay. Like, if that's the case, I kind of wanted to, like, gingerly and, like, easily, not easily, but carefully try to open the door.
Yeah. So you're going to open the door?
Yes.
Give me a strength check and give me a search check as you're doing that.
Yeah.
Hey!
That is a strength at 35 out of 55% success and a crit of 22 out of 57 on search.
The door is as heavy as it looks, but you are kind of capable of slowly, gingerly, carefully even, like swinging it open. And it does indeed swing open with a little bit of effort. It makes a bit of a squeaking noise, but nothing too terrible. And as you kind of have it swing open, it becomes very obvious how this booby trap works. As best you can tell, it's a collection of kind of pull cables that were attached to a part of the door that would have detonated about when the door was like 7 to 8 of the way open, guaranteeing whoever was opening the door would get hit and probably taking out a chunk of the lighthouse. It's a very rudimentary booby trap, though. Basically, by adding slack into the system, you have disarmed it as you suspected type of thing. And you're also realizing that it could be very easily rearmed and the door could still be exited so long as you were kind of careful. Like there's enough slack in the system that you could have opened the door like maybe even halfway and slipped inside probably and been completely safe, which is maybe what previous people have done kind of with that knowledge or something. But yeah, like, and also looking around, given your kind of success at scanning the inside of it, a lot of the explosives are old. Like you're obviously no like military weapons or demolitions expert, but like none of this stuff looks new. Like you've seen some of this stuff in like World War II movies and Vietnam movies and maybe like movies that took place during the Korean War and stuff like that. None of this stuff screams cutting edge, even like as recent as the 90s. It all has a certain like dated look to it. Hell, I'd go so far as like some of it even has like dust collected on it. Like it's none of this tech looks recent or even like recently assembled or put together. Like you're seeing fray marks on the pull cables. Like there's an oldness to all of it. Like this booby trap has been there for a while.
Well, it really does look like Kevin McAllister set this up. But do you think we would need this later?
I mean, free explosives is free explosives.
Spark, do you have any demolition skill?
Let me take a look. I do not.
You have any military science?
I do not.
Then I cannot ask you this question. I know the other two of you do not have what I'm looking for.
Oh.
Yeah, I will throw out there, it looks old. There is no guarantee it will work. Or it would have even worked if you had triggered it.
Okay. It's not my specialty, but you said it looks old. And I am a history buff.
I will repeat the same thing I said to Agent Sanguine. You're seeing a lot of historic armaments, like definitely some World War II stuff, definitely some Vietnam War stuff, some Korean War stuff. Nothing that seems current. Again, military is not your area of expertise, correct?
No, it is not.
Yeah, but like as a kind of historian and anthropologist, you probably have like a passing knowledge of like, for stuff you see on the History Channel, or probably some exhibit that came through that you were aware of and stuff like that. Like maybe you watched like some TV show about modern weapons at one point. None of this looks modern day. Hell, none of this looks even like 20 years recent, give or take.
Okay.
Remember that 20 years at this point was 2000s.
Well, let's head on in.
Well, okay.
So as you go in, a couple things become apparent. One, part of this lighthouse floods, or at least some of the year, maybe during high tide or something. There are tides in the lake. And the place just smells of wet and algae, and it's got that wet place reek to it type of thing. Like you can smell that the wood that's exposed right now would be rotting if it wasn't covered in water most of the time. It's winter, so it's got kind of that like cold smell of water to it as well, which I'd say like if you've been like to the ocean during the winter, it's kind of got that smell, except the lake's not salty in the same way, or it's not a salt lake, so it's different, but like it's got that kind of like heavy, wet, cold scent to it type of thing. But I will say, as you kind of move in, exposed by the lower water and stuff like that, you do see that there is a kind of somewhat newer compared to everything else inside metal panel with a green kind of very faded, admittedly, kind of barely there, kind of like stripped away and rusting some green triangle on it. That kind of looks like a Christmas tree, but also like could easily be mistaken for a variety of other triangular green things.
Why don't the two of you look around? I'll keep an eye out, make sure we don't have anybody sneaking up on us.
Sure. Yeah, I'll take a look around.
Do you look around in more detail?
Yeah.
Space isn't huge. It's about a 10-foot diameter, give or take, type of thing, and you really can't get that much higher up in the lighthouse because the stairs have collapsed some. You do find a collection of tally marks to the left of the door. They add up to kind of roughly 70. The time has kind of worn away a couple of them, and maybe there's more, maybe there's a few less. You can't quite tell, but there's at least 70 that you can account for. Yeah, the only thing that stands out in the room are the explosives, which at least have been temporarily disarmed, this metal panel with the kind of green-ish logo on it, and these tally marks. The rest of it's just kind of inside of a stone tower type of situation.
You said there was a green logo on it. Do I recognize the logo at all?
Just a kind of green triangular symbol of some kind. It could be a variety of things, though. It's rusted, it's old. It's just on kind of a piece of plate metal.
Okay.
The plate metal does look newer than the rest of the environment, though.
Okay. But I don't recognize, like, the symbol isn't anything I would recognize. Like, so, okay. The reason I asked for context is because my cult is at 40. So if it's not anything I would recognize from a historical aspect, it's just something I would potentially recognize from the occult aspect.
It's definitely a logo you've seen before, but not necessarily in a, I guess technically in a cult type of situation. Spark has definitely seen a similar logo very recently.
Yeah, it's the deltagreen symbol.
Oh, okay. I would know the deltagreen symbol, though. Like,
would you? No official deltagreen paperwork.
I mean,
as a man of learnedness and kind of education and whatnot, you would know that delta is often symbolized with a triangle, and you've probably heard it referred to as deltagreen before, so you could probably make the logical jump that green triangle might in some way relate to the organization you're involved with.
Okay, fair enough. All right, I will. You said this metal plate. Is it covering anything, or is it just like a metal plate that happens to be like scattered about nearby, or is it like maybe like as a latch over something, or like a door?
Might be covering it something. It's just definitely newer than anything else in the space, maybe excluding the explosives.
Okay. Are there any explosives or anything attached to it that would be of concern if I tried to like maneuver it to look around it?
Nah, the best way to describe this is it kind of looks like someone just kind of leaned a plate up against a wall, maybe wedged it between some rocks or something. Maybe they're trying to keep some water out or something. Who knows?
Okay. Can I do a...
You mean intelligence?
Yeah, I want to see if I can do something with it. 94 out of 80 failure. Fuck.
I mean, the room's not full of water right now, and it should be, but the tide's out.
I want to try to move this plate a little bit.
Yeah, give me a strength.
1 out of 75% critical.
So all of your kind of paranoia on this topic was for naught. You kind of like get your hands on this and like brace to pull on it, and it just kind of comes up. It's not attached to anything. It doesn't even grind out of space. It's been pulled and replaced so many times it almost seems to have worn a groove into it. Like, I wouldn't say it like glides out, but like it's not really thick. It's not really heavy. It's something that an old woman could probably lift with maybe a little bit of effort or something, and kind of pulling it out of the way is quite easy. And it reveals a kind of hole in the base of this lighthouse. The hole is indeed filled with water. It's got a buoy kind of floating inside of it with a rope that runs down into the water, kind of sitting in a little kind of guarded pool of sorts. Give me a search.
7 out of 67 success.
The rope attached to the buoy is definitely attached to something down at the bottom of the pool.
Okay. Before I continue, who had the paperwork from the instructions in the box? Or do we even still have that? Or is it like...
The instructions from the box have been kind of consumed at this point. Not like literally, but like you kind of covered the scope of all that's there. I will say that Agent Spark probably found some mention of a cache of some kind in the lighthouse when she was leafing through it earlier.
Okay. So I'll look back at the group and I'll go, there looks like there's something down here, but is there any mention of any explosives in this area? Do you guys remember anything about that at all? Or because if I start messing with this, I don't want a surprise explosion.
The only explosives that were mentioned were the one in the hole that you blew up and the lighthouse one.
Okay. Well, I can go and see if I can pull this rope here. but I don't know what's going to happen. So what do you guys think?
You have steady hands?
I can try.
And I'd say go for it.
You're going to start pulling?
I will slowly start pulling just to be mindful if there's any like tension I notice. That's not like, you know how you can pull on a rope and you can tell the difference between it's just the weight of something hanging on it versus there being tension on it.
Oh, yeah, this is all weight on this thing, no tension type of thing. Like,
okay.
I would go so far as to say it's almost like someone dropped a weight down this pool and left the buoy there so you could find the rope and pull it out later type of thing. So, yeah, takes a few minutes to kind of pull it out. It's a pretty straight shaft as you pull it out type of thing. You maybe have to kind of dance it around once or twice, but it's pretty easy to get it out. And so as it gets closer and closer to the top, this thing's actually kind of heavy. And what you pull out is a fairly large antique steel weapons locker of some type. It looks like maybe kind of older era type of stuff, maybe Vietnam War, maybe Korean War, but it is very airtight as best you can tell. It's got a series of kind of very heavy locks on the outside of it. It shows a lot of kind of example of being left in the water for extended periods of time. It also appears to be pretty well sealed, but it is not kind of permanently locked up or anything like that. It would be openable. And it's surprisingly big. Like, it is not a small box. The fact that it even came up with just you pulling on it, a little bit surprising, but also like, who the hell knows what's in it? If there's a bunch of air trapped inside or something.
Okay. I've got it out of the hole and it's like on the floor next to me now, so I can get a good view of it. Okay. Can I search to see if there's any way for me to kind of open this?
Oh, easily. Yeah, there's very obvious latches on it.
Okay. So then I will slowly attempt to open it.
All right. Yeah, so kind of pop some twist locks on it. You hear it kind of like not depressurized, maybe some like rubber seals disengage or something. Obviously no mechanical or like air release happening. And as you kind of slowly open it up, it makes a bit of a squeaking sound. And inside can only be described as a pyromaniac's toy box. There are 12 20-gallon jerry cans, what appears to be a crossbow with several what you'd guess are professionally made and improvised specialty bolts for it, compound bow with a collection of specialty arrows, and both ranging from amateur made and professional made, a box marked incendiary rounds, and what appear to be a collection of grenades just marked thermite.
Holy shit. Take a look at this. And I start to show the rest of the group.
What the fuck did you find? And I accidentally bump into you?
Careful. Oh, God. Well,
all right, man. Like, the floor's kind of slippery. My apologies.
Okay. Well, I've got what looks like thermite, crossbow. This thing here is marked incendiary rounds. Basically, me make fire.
And there's also a collection of flare guns, a collection of flares marked defective, prone to over-exploding. Basically anything within reason that could be used to light something on fire that could like be bought from a hardware store. There's probably one or two of them in this box, along with like a couple like old school field manuals that like are all about like improvised explosives and incendiary devices. Like there's a post-it note in a sandwich bag that just says how to make napalm and other things like that. Like there's all the supplies minus the glass bottles you would need to make Molotov cocktails in here. Like within reason, if you can use it to light something on fire or make fire, hell, there's even some like flint and steel kits in here type of thing.
Will you pass me the incendiary rounds? Are they for a shotgun?
There are a collection of incendiary rounds. There's dragon rounds for the shotgun. There are some kind of large caliber, like for a rifle maybe of some kind. There's even some that look highly illegal ones for handguns.
Yeah, take your pick.
Yeah, I'll grab a box of the Dragon's Breath rounds and stuff them in my coat pockets.
Well, I will set myself up with the crossbow, I guess.
I want some of these flare guns. How many flare guns are there? And are they single use?
There's a collection. There's a couple kind of military-style flare guns that basically act like a grenade launch, where they have a series of chambers you could cycle through to basically rapid-fire flares. There's also a couple kind of single-shot, kind of handgun-style ones. Hell, one of the more military-looking flare launchers might just be a grenade launcher.
Oh,
If you're taking flares, let's make sure to leave behind the highly explosive ones.
I don't think flares are supposed to be highly explosive.
Well, they're noted as...
I know these ones are similar to the flare gun that I have in my emergency road kit. So I'm going to imagine...
Yeah, there are some in there that are labeled to being packed with a little bit too much oomph. I'm just saying, let's avoid those ones.
Good call.
Gotcha.
I don't really want there to be an accidental explosion on a tiny boat.
You know, I've cheated death once. I think I'll go ahead and try not to do it again. Lightning doesn't strike twice.
That comment raises my eyebrow for a second. I'm like, didn't you almost die twice in my head?
Okay, let's get some of the jerry cans. Is there anything else in there? Any instructions, maybe?
So taped to the underside of the lid, you kind of missed when you initially popped it open, there is a notepad kind of triple packed into a collection of Ziploc bags.
I'll grab it.
Yeah, flip through it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's obvious, but Spark definitely like takes it, and when she opens it to look through it, she stands in a way so that she's the only one that can see it. I mean,
Sure.
She tries to make it look like she's not doing it on purpose, but she is.
So the first page reads, "So I guess if you're reading this, I guess I'm dead. Sorry about that. My name was Rebecca Goldblatt. I am of Harvey Goldblatt. He was the brother of the asshole that probably got you all wrapped up in this shit. Sorry about that. I promise we were good people, minus the whole, yearly arson adventure we went on." You keep reading?
Yeah, I continue to flip through.
Sure. Yeah, so kind of as you're flipping through this, it goes into a variety of details kind of explaining basically how Rebecca Goldblatt found herself as part of this. As best you can tell, she is the daughter of some immigrants that came over right at the end of World War II type of thing. She alludes to her dad maybe was part of some organization that you may be part of. She doesn't actually know all of the details of what any of this shit is. Like, she's very kind of like confused about like if there's even an organization. She's like, yeah, so my dad's brother Conrad, I guess he was doing this for a while. In his will, he mentioned, hey, you got to go to this island around Christmas and it'll make sense once you get to the lighthouse. And she's like, yeah, and there's bombs. Sorry about the bombs. I don't know how to disarm them and stuff like that. I don't totally understand the situation. My uncle really didn't ever figure it out either. But basically, you've got to burn down the goat close enough to Christmas that they can't rebuild it in time for Christmas. They've got some ritual thing going on. And I've been coming back here every year for, as you're kind of digging through, she's basically kept a journal of all the time she's come back, and it goes back a ton of years. Like, she's been doing this easily for basically 40 years. Like, most of her adult life was spent coming to this island to burn down this goat and then leaving, basically. Like, she talks about the people on the island she thinks are in the cult. Some of them she's right about, as best you can tell. Some of them she's not. She even has mentions about how she's kind of confused. No one's figured it out. It's her so far that's burning down the goat. And like, at the same time, it's getting harder and harder. She's like, yeah, the first couple of years I was doing this, I just walked up to it and stuck a cigarette in it, and kind of that burned it down. But then they started like putting a fence around it. Like, the escalation of gear in the box is because she's had to get more and more elaborate in how she's dealt with it. And she does mention that she's like, yeah, the best trick I found so far is to shoot it with a flaming arrow from the church tower type of thing.
Remind me, when she used to do this like the night before Christmas every year, right?
More or less, yeah.
How long after we've seen it do we think it would take to remake one of these?
You're not sure. You're also not sure where the goat comes from. It's been mentioned to you a couple times that it's made by some artisans on the island. Like, you actually don't know much about the goat aside for it gets burned down and it's a big kind of wicker effigy thing that's out by the kind of cliff and stuff like that. Like, there's an argument to be made that like this is the first confirmation that like, yeah, there's a ritual going on. Yeah, you need to burn this goat down. It's not just some local teenagers being jackasses. This is a coordinated thing this woman's been doing for most of her adult life.
Great. Can we see the goat from the lighthouse?
I mean, you can. The crossbow also has a scope that you can definitely see it from. It's far enough away that like making a shot from where you're at would be very hard. Also, like the wind would definitely be against you and stuff like that. Like maybe if you had like a high powered rifle, you could make the shot. But like the small island's not small. It's big enough that like a shot across it would be hard. Plus, it would be kind of uphill against who knows what type of winds, et cetera, et cetera. And you'd have to get kind of up across the cliff and stuff like that. Like shooting from here, not advisable.
Yeah, I'm more trying to see like what kind of deterrence they have around it now, because I don't know how to use a crossbow very effectively. I know our historian might, but
I mean, crossbows basically work like bolt action rifles.
Oh, okay, perfect. Never mind.
Yeah, it's not a compound bow. Crossbow, basically reloading them is a pain, but and I'm sure I'm annoying some people by saying this, but like they're basically as close to a gun as you can get while bow hunting.
Yeah, so are there still fences around the
there's definitely fences. Like now that you're kind of like looking at this through your binoculars and stuff like that, you're understanding maybe like some of the weirdness that you didn't pick up on previously. Like there is a fence around it. It's a little bit weirdly tall. Like if the goal is for this thing to be kind of like a centerpiece of this, the fence is oddly obstructing and oddly tall and like weirdly angled and has like security stuff to stop people from climbing it around the top. Like now that you're looking at it with this new context, this is a fence that's meant to like probably be outside most people's throwing ranges, definitely stop you from climbing it, and like even might be able to stop some stuff being like poked through or thrown at it. Like it's a oddly extensive fence and an oddly tall fence for a Christmas decoration.
And this is on the main island, right?
Yeah.
It's not separate. Okay.
It's also kind of very in view of all of the downtown. Sneaking up on this goat would probably be hard. Again, with this context, you'd guess that like there's probably a ton of security cameras aimed at this goat and stuff like that too at this point.
I'll put the notebook back in the Ziploc bags and kind of just stuff it into my back pocket.
Sure.
Okay. I think I'm also going to grab a flare gun. I also think we're ready to wrap this up and toss it back down.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, let's make sure we grab bolts and accelerant.
So now also with this context in mind, you're looking at the collection of bolts and arrows in this, and some of them are designed to basically, as best you can tell, like have like a reservoir you could fill with liquid. Some of them have like a twisted, almost like corkscrew knot on the front of it that you could like maybe wrap, I don't know, fabric into or something like that to make it into a flaming arrow. The number of flammable options is almost hilarious.
How many days until Christmas? I know we have a few, right?
You have a few. It is, it's 3.
All right, let's pack up, make our way back.
Okay.
Cool. I'll grab the box and I'll latch it. Last call?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Cool. I'll drop the little guy down the little well. Now then, how the hell do we get back? Officer's still there, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll step outside the lighthouse.
Yeah, officer's still there. Or sheriff, I guess.
Look back down the hole to see whether or not I successfully latched the box. There's something about it that I just, for whatever reason, felt like I didn't fully water seal it, but honestly, that's a later issue. That's not something I have to worry about now. I'll also step outside of the lighthouse.
All right.
Sanguine, you have the most steady hands. Do you mind setting up the explosives again?
Is there a way to rearm it?
Oh, very obviously, yeah. There's like a hook. If you get the kind of cables up over, basically you pushed it off of a hook that was holding it up in tension. Getting them back up over the hook will be quite easy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've got that covered. Saga, do you have anything else that you need to go, or am I locking you inside this lighthouse?
No, I'm good, man. I'm good.
After you.
Yeah, and so I walk out of the lighthouse.
All right. You're going to kind of like lock up the lighthouse at this point and whatnot?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Take some time, but yeah, the lighthouse is kind of secured and locked up, and minus the kind of part that got blown off in the explosion, more or less as it was when you arrived.
All right, let's head back down. I'll take up the rear, basically, because I've got the weapon, so.
Yeah. So I guess, like, in summary, what gear did everyone take, ultimately?
I grabbed a flare gun, some flares, I grabbed the incendiary rounds, and I think we grabbed a jerry can or two.
All right.
Yeah, definitely flare guns. I got the crossbow. just flare guns, crossbow, and I don't think I grabbed. I'm worried about saying I grabbed some thermite, but I don't know. Fuck it.
We make sure we have the bolts and the accelerant for the bolt as well.
I've got a couple flare guns.
All right. By a couple flare guns, do you mean like a flare gun and a couple flares, or like did you grab just like a bunch of flare guns as like kits almost?
Pardon my ignorance. How do flare guns work?
So flare guns are kind of like shotguns typically. So you have the gun apparatus, and then you load a literal flare that kind of looks like a shotgun shell into it, typically a little bit bulkier. Flare guns, despite not being capable of killing someone traditionally, they're basically a single shot revolver. Like they're designed to be kind of shot up in the air. It's basically a gun that shoots a fancy firework. Like the gun itself is meant to be reusable, and it comes with like a collection of shells. They make some single use ones that are basically kind of like idiot proof versions of it, or kind of like it's a rod that you pull a thing out of the bottom of it and just shoot straight up, kind of Roman candle style. But in this case, they're all kind of like gun style ones that you would be like, literally you flip it open, it's like a single shot, like I don't want to call it a Derringer style thing, but like typically it's like a cheap plastic housing and a trigger on the back of it, and basically kind of a rudimentary trigger system you just kind of point over your head and fire straight up. They kind of look like little mini blunderbusses with some frequency.
Okay, because I was thinking...
You're thinking like road flares or something like that, I'm guessing.
No, like, for whatever reason, I didn't know you could reload them.
They're not an elegant weapon that you can kind of flip down and reload easily, but yeah, like, if you shoot someone with a flare gun at relatively close range, there is a chance the explosion from the flare will kill them. It is an explosion meant to be seen from miles away, potentially. So it's not like the explosion won't like blow up a house or something like that, but there is some punch behind the explosion that happens. It's not really a kind of like high concussive, high flame explosion, but like shooting a flare gun into a hay bale will light that hay bale on fire.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I have a flare gun and a couple rounds.
All right. Did you grab any of the kind of unstable ones or just the stable ones?
I think I grabbed the stable ones.
All right, cool.
Because we're not trying to get on a rickety ass boat or try to move around with explosives.
I mean, the police boat's plenty stable, but fair point, yeah. All right, cool. So got your various implements of destruction.
I'm start walking towards the boat.
All right.
I follow behind.
Same.
As you kind of approach the sheriff in his boat, he kind of looks at you. You find what you were looking for, and kind of like notices some of the gear you have with you, and he's like, "Was that in the lighthouse?"
No.
Yeah, you should probably quarantine the lighthouse, make sure no one walks in again.
How are you holding the crossbow, by the way, Agent Saga?
Well, at the moment,
Like it has a strap on if you want to have it over a shoulder or something.
yeah, I'm assuming it had a strap and it was over the shoulder for now because I'm not actively going to be using it on anyone at the moment. So, yeah.
It's looking like, why was there a crossbow in the lighthouse?
It would take a lot more time to explain it than to just go.
Looks at Spark. The weird again?
The weird again.
Got it. No more questions.
Yeah, and we found this duffel bag in there as well.
Oh, yeah, that police issue duffel bag.
Yep. You know, that's crazy. You might want to double check to see if you're missing one.
Yeah, I've once been missing for, I don't know, weeks now. I'm sure I filled out some paperwork about it. Kind of looks at you. I feel that's established as an alibi, right?
Yeah, Spark nods. All right, let's get going.
So we continuing our tour around the island, or are we going back? Is there some other weird-ass stop you've got planned?
Why don't we take a lap around the island and then we'll head back? I still want to go check out that artist commune at some point.
Yeah, that's that's on top of the hill. It's on the way back from the docks. Perfect. Yeah, I'll drop you off and go back to my office and be none the wiser of what else you get up to for the rest of the day. That sound like a plan?
Yeah.
I think you should enjoy your holiday week.
Kind of looks at you confused. Yes, I will definitely go back to doing that. And yeah, I'm assuming you all loaded on the boat at that point?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's relatively smooth sailing back, so to speak. It's weird. Like you can see as you're going around the island, kind of you're going off to the right side of the boat, you're seeing what you'd expect to be kind of the lake this time. You see kind of the occasional like ice chunk and whatnot floating around inside the frozen lake and all that stuff going on. But like to your left, as you're going around the island, kind of finishing the rotation you were doing, too calm, too clear, whatever, like this whole bubble thing you kind of hinted at earlier, it definitely seems more there as best you can tell. It definitely kind of seems to engulf both islands. But yeah, as you kind of continue around the island, kind of go back towards the dock, you don't see anything especially noteworthy. You kind of see more signs of what the residents of the island live with. Like there's a couple like decaying docks. There's a couple like boats that have been pulled up out of the water and then kind of fallen apart on land. You see a couple more trailers. You see a couple more kind of like rundown houses. Again, you're getting a sense that like the town is surviving, but not everyone is surviving the same. And like the signs you've noticed and the things you've been told that like some people are doing great on the island, not everyone. The island is definitely in kind of a state of decay's the wrong phrase, but decline most definitely for most folks. And this holiday thing is really what keeps the lights on for a lot of people potentially. But yeah, you can kind of continue around. You'll pull up the dock. You do notice that Shecky's boat is back. You don't see Shecky at first glance. You kind of get off the boat, though. If you want to go look for him, you can. But kind of as you disembark, the sheriff looks at you all and goes like, well, that was not an eventful journey around the island. Not sure what we were looking for, given that, yeah, but, yep, nothing strange out there at all. We definitely investigated that explosion sound. It was, some rocks falling off the lighthouse, which is in dangerous disrepair. Isn't that right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I guess I'll go file a report about the slowly collapsing historic lighthouse. And yeah,
I probably would actually just go ahead and not let anyone near the front door of that lighthouse.
Oh, I'm gonna say that getting within 100 feet of that thing is probably a hazardous health risk.
That is probably for the best.
Yes, he's speaking way too loud, so all the kind of sailors hearing him talk about this, and they're kind of like the ones that are there looking at you like, what the hell's going on? We don't care. But like, yeah, once you feel satisfied, he's kind of expelled, kind of explained how dangerous the collapsing lighthouse is, and tried to say that wasn't an explosion, that was some rocks falling real loudly. He kind of walks off towards back towards the sheriff's office and stuff like that, and kind of very kind of brusque, very kind of like, I'm going to my office, and it's not a goddamn thing anyone can do to stop me from doing that.
Sheriff, do you mind if we borrow your car?
Kind of looks at you. You know what? Fuck it, and tosses the keys at you.
Thanks. Well, why don't we go load up?
Did you do anything to kind of hide your collection of odd weapons?
I definitely put the shotgun back in the duffel bag.
Sure.
Probably throw the crossbow in there and the bolts as well. And
yeah, there's space in the duffel bag to kind of hide the stuff if you wanted to.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, so a couple of the sailors kind of look at you uninterested. They're like, oh, they're back, whatever. Do you look for Shecky Yoder at all, or not really?
You guys have an axe to grind? Do you want to go talk to Shecky?
You know, he can absolutely go suck a fuck, but otherwise, I get to go home to San Diego. He can exist here. And that's, within itself, punishment enough.
Okay, sure. We'll do a quick little lap before we go to see if he's around, see if he saw anything weird. You want to help me, Saga?
Sure.
Do you talk to people or just kind of look around for him specifically?
I'm just looking around.
Yeah, give me a search at -20.
Both of us?
Yeah.
If you guys were doing that, I was just going to head to the car and just start loading up and chilling out.
Sure, if you want to go wait in the car, I'm going to just carry this stuff with me. But
oh, for sure.
Yeah, I'll toss you the keys.
I catch him heading over.
All right, give me those search results.
67 out of 67 minus, with a modified -20, so I failed.
I had a 70% failure with modified 65%.
Yeah, you don't find him. Plenty of reasons for him not to be around, though, at this point, too. You're not successful in locating him, and even if you kind of asked a couple of the sailors there, they're like, we haven't seen him. We don't talk to outsiders.
Does it seem like they're just covering for him, or...
Give me a human int.
87% out of 3 fail.
Maybe they're covering for him. Maybe they don't know. They definitely don't seem to want to talk to you, though.
All right, I'll head back to the car.
How long is your lap?
Probably like 15 to 20 minutes.
Cool. While I'm in the car, I want to start fiddling with the wideband radio.
Okay. What are you looking for?
See if there's any kind of active channels or whatever the heck.
I mean, you find kind of the normal set that would make sense for a lake. There's some Coast Guard stuff. There's some shipping talk type of stuff. Nothing especially noteworthy kind of. I guess you're using kind of the police radio?
Yeah.
Nothing super noteworthy on any of that stuff.
Is there anything in regards to like wassail deliveries or anything else like that?
Nah, nothing like that. You're not hearing anything along those lines. It's more kind of boats out on the lake and Coast Guard out in the lake and kind of, it's official radio chatter type of thing. Most people don't use radios, I guess, all that much anymore. And I guess you do pick up a couple kind of like pirate radio stations of a couple people like you'd guess broadcasting off the shore. One of them's running a radio show into their broadcasting staff that's about the truth is out there, man. Aliens aren't real. They're just disguises for the actual truth and all that type of nonsense.
All right. While I overhear some stuff with the boatings, I kind of want to radio in. Anyone copy? Anyone copy? Looking for Nords. Any bands? Any radio bands?
Yeah, one of the kind of, it sounds like shipping channels you hear kind of someone say, "This is Alina Nord. Who is this?"
This is just a friendly. Just want to let you know that the outsiders are trying to ruin Christmas. They know. They have flammables. Over. Pass that on to Mayor Red. Over.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is an official radio channel for official business. Get the hell off it. We don't have time for your crackpot theories. Did the alien guy send you?
Alien guy's not trying to send anybody. Here's the thing. Outsiders want to start fucking around with the wassail. And if anything, the reason why the goat keeps lighting on fire, yeah, that's them too. Looks like a whole bunch of hooligans just keep getting imported just so that way they can continue on this internet prank.
So as you're going on about this, kind of as you take a breath, someone chimes in with like, "Whoever the hell this is, get off this channel. It's an official shipping channel, not a broadcast station for your crackpot theories." It's a kind of gruff sounding voice though.
Thank you for the help. Over. And I switch it back to the, what's it called, channel it was originally on.
All right.
Hook everything back in. I just realized something. Did I ever get Mayor Red's contact info? I felt like he offered it at some point, but I think I was skeeved out by him, so I don't think I remember taking it.
Yeah, at the time you turned it down, if I remember correctly.
I
mean, there's plenty of ways of contacting when you get back to town, though, if you want.
All right, cool.
Yeah, Spark Saga, you kind of come back to the car, Sandwich is kind of sitting there. What's next?
So what do we want to hop on?
I want to resupply on some meds, if you guys do not mind. I have been crunching on some materials, and I'm pretty sure I need to re-up on my anti-anxieties. I had a lot of fun little triggers. Saga just found out that I am a slightly claustrophobic, and I don't like loud noises. I think I should let everyone know about that, just in case if I have another freak out.
Sure, let's stop by that gas station, away from all the weirdness.
Yeah.
I'm talking about my mobile pharmacy suitcase.
See. Remind me, Charlie, the last place we stayed was at that weird hotel, right?
Oh, yeah, the very downtown, very public, very kind of touristy hotel. Yeah. I will say, though, too, like, despite the sheriff's best lying, at best, people heard a weird sound, and I'm not saying you have a ticking clock or anything like that, but, like, I would go so far as to say that, like, if people were concerned about that sound, probably kind of guards might be up or guards might be raising at this point. Not literally, but kind of figuratively. Like, a sound that's very obviously an explosion just doesn't happen every day in this town.
We're kind of on a ticking time or a ticking clock here. Why don't we go up to the art compound? I'm sure that the artists up there are going to have all of the drugs you're looking for.
I don't know if I should be incapacitated with that specific drug, but at the same time, I'm interested and curious as to what this art compound is going to look like. Art compound hotel, does that work for you?
I think we'll probably be getting to the point of needing to bunk in anyways. So, yeah.
Okay. So what's so special about this art compound? You hankering for some souvenirs?
I'm assuming it's where they're making the goat.
Ah.
I want to ensure they don't have a backup already in place, considering how many times this has been burnt down.
Yeah, it's almost, is it me or is it kind of oddly comical that like it's burned down every time and like they didn't have a backup previously? Or if they did, seems like they didn't have one. I don't know. Random thought. Anyway.
It is pretty comical, yeah.
But yeah, I think making sure they don't have a backup is a good idea. But if I recall, the art area, or what did you say it was called? The art exhibit? What was it called?
The artist compound?
Colony compound.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah. Wasn't this the home of, who was it again? Start rifling through like any notes that I may have. This was the home of someone in particular.
Couple people live up there.
Yeah. Can you remind me?
There's no guarantee any of them actually live there, though. But you've heard like it was probably mentioned that Alina Nord lives up there. That Samantha, Thomas Red's wife, used to live up there. She's kind of part of that whole crowd at one point, way back when.
Okay.
The Nords, yeah.
Yeah. So let's just assume it's going to be busy.
Yeah. Well, before we head out, Sanguine, I'm not a doctor like you, but let me look you over. You did plunge into that cold water. Just want to make sure you're not, hurt.
Oh, sure. I mean, I have my stethoscope as well as, do you need any tools or?
Nope. Just going to look you over.
All right. Sure, go ahead. I'm just looking at you from, I'm going to imagine, the back of the car.
I don't think we've left yet.
Oh, for sure.
So like Spark is saying this is, she's like putting the stuff in the trunk, but she'll say, which one of you can drive?
I mean, if you're looking me over, I'm going to imagine you're going to are you trying to do this while we're on the move, or are you doing this right now?
No. I want to do it before we leave. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to be able to examine you while we're moving. I think that's probably something you could do, but I'm not.
Okay.
What are you looking for exactly?
I mean, I'll get out a light and like look over his eyes, see if there's anything weird. Because I recall at one point you told me that like I saw something was off about him.
Yeah.
So like I'm just kind of looking him over. I'll take his pulse.
What do you have in first aid?
I have 10% in first aid.
All right, so give me a search.
4% out of 85% success.
Is Spark a drinker by any chance?
No.
What is her feelings on drinkers?
I mean, she works in the profession she works in. There's definitely a lot of alcoholics she works with. So not high.
Yeah. So I'm only asking because like now that you're kind of up close inspecting Sanguine and stuff like that, like it's strange. If it wasn't for the fact that you've been around them for the last few hours and stuff like that, they're kind of like, they're exhibiting some of the like physical symptoms of being drunk. Not they're like stumbling or anything like that. They have like slightly kind of rosy cheeks. There's like a drunk glow to them almost, but at the same time though too, like their pupils are a little dilated maybe or something like that. Kind of like almost like they're like high or something like that, but also based off the number of kind of various medications he's alluded to being on, that makes a certain amount of sense. Like it's not like severely or kind of unnervingly so in any of these things, but like there's like that telltale sign of like, hey, is this person a little buzzed? Maybe there's some of that kind of like red glow going on in their face ever so slightly kind of thing to indicate the kind of blood alcohol levels a little bit up kind of thing. Like maybe like their eyes aren't quite dilating appropriately and trying to lighten them, but they're not like too far behind. It's not like the full open iris or anything like that you'd have if they were incredibly high on something. You're not seeing any kind of like weird discolorations or anything.
Is it similar to like how he looked the first night we got in here when we fought him and had to get him to throw up the wassail?
Give me an intelligence at -20, because really, would you have noticed something like that in the middle of a fight?
No, I don't think so. But with a 75%, I have a 75% intelligence, -20, so 55. I rolled a 51% success.
Maybe a little, but also like you'd just gotten off of a cold boat and the same symptoms of, hey, I've got really cold air on my face are pretty similar to the physical telltale signs of being drunk. So maybe, but also like in that same moment, I mean, you probably had a good chance to look at them. The lighting wasn't perfect. It was probably a tad like idyllic and like not perfect for a full inspection. And they also were throwing up and they had just also drunk alcohol.
Well, I mean, how are you feeling?
Full disclosure, I did have an Oxycontin and a Vicodin. What else did I have? Anti-anxiety medications. I've got some caffeine pills in me. I'm feeling pretty okay. I'm feeling pretty good despite the fact that I almost blew up. But after some breathing exercises, I was able to, calm myself down. Not like incredibly zenned out because I am still here, but for the most part, yeah, I'm still kind of good to go and finish this mission.
Great. Glad to hear.
Yeah.
But is there something you noticed? I mean, am I like bleeding out of somewhere? Because like,
no. Like I said, I was just looking to see if you had like a sign of a concussion or something. I don't know anything really beyond that. I'm not medically trained.
Oh, cool. For sure.
It doesn't look like you have a concussion though.
Pulse is normal. I mean, like, again, I've got blood pressure machine back at the hotel if you need to do anything more thorough.
We can take a look at it later. Why don't you sit up front with Saga? Saga can drive. I'm going to go through our supplies back here.
Oh, well, sure.
Yeah, I'll jump in the driver's seat. Nothing fancy on my driving, though. Just an FYI, folks.
It's a simple enough drive, like just going up the hill, basically, and the car the sheriff has is intended for kind of, maybe not like full off-roading, but it is kind of like a truck vehicle. It'll do fine on the kind of general bad road conditions of the island. You're going up to the artist compound?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, what's in Sheriff Usof's glove compartment? As well as like literally, I'm just going to start snooping around.
Give me a search.
That is a 2% success out of 57.
Yeah, some gloves, kind of like some just like emergency weather gear and stuff like that. Maybe some road flares, like some caution tape, like just kind of basic supplies one might need, like some twine, et cetera, like a fishing net even. Nothing super interesting. It's a glove compartment. It doesn't contain that much stuff, really.
How big's the fishing net?
I mean, like, not huge, like maybe like a 2 foot by 4 foot type of thing, but it's also kind of all like tangled up and stuff on itself.
You know what? I'm going to grab that fishing net and I'm going to untangle it. That just seems like a really interesting, weird side thing to occupy myself with.
Sure. You don't have that much time. Like, this is not a big gun. It's going to take you like maybe 5 minutes to get up the hill to the artist compound. So, give me a dexterity to see how well you do on that.
Can't do surgery again?
Nah, this is not work.
Not work. What about intelligence? Because it's kind of like a logic puzzle.
I mean, you're not solving the Gordian knot by slicing it open. You're trying to untangle a net.
Oh, all right, cool. Charity it is.
I'm throwing out a hypothetical here. Can I roll drive to assist with the steadiness?
Yeah, why not?
I just figured let's throw a curveball there. My drive's not
I
great.
love it.
See a drive.
Wish me luck. Fuck.
Because you failed, Agent Sam, I'm going to give you a negative 10 on that dexterity check. Because, yeah, Agent Saga's not doing a great job at driving.
Damn, it's like he's trying to impede me in everything I do.
It's like he's trying to impede you in everything you do.
Damn. All right, cool. Thankfully, though, I am really good under pressure. And despite the bumpiness, when I set my mind on a task, I could just really focus because I'm real good at my hands, or real good with my hands. That is a 9% out of 55 dexterity success.
Yeah, you get this kind of flimsy net untangled. Like, it's not an amazing net type of thing. Like, now it's kind of untangled. Maybe it's just to kind of hold stuff down in the back of the truck or something, like just on the top. Like, it's a net. It's a shitty kind of, it'll work for a variety of things net.
I take net.
All right.
Fold it up or however a net is properly stored.
Folded. Folded is the correct way to do that, or rolled, but yeah, same difference at this point. On behalf of all of us at Negative Modifier, thank you for listening, and we do hope you enjoyed this episode. If you are not already a subscriber, please consider becoming one, partially so you do not miss our next episode, but mostly because it helps new listeners find us. In addition to that, if you liked the episode, please consider clicking the thumbs up button below. If you'd like to further support the show, please consider joining us on Discord or becoming a Patreon patron.